Good morning! Today is day 6 of vlogmas. I think the 6th of December may be one of my favorite days because, come on, it's St. Nicholas here in Belgium and that's something big, huge! And it's going to be a fun day at school today. Well, I have to work with my students, but there is something that is going to happen. And yeah, St. Nicholas, actually, if you don't know, is kind of like Santa Claus. I think Santa Claus is a derivative from St. Nicholas, if I'm not mistaken. And that's this old man with a long beard, a cross on his hat, like the Pope, who is coming down the chimney to bring children some candies, some sweets and gifts. And usually children in Belgium put their shoes next to the chimney 1 or 2 weeks before St. Nicholas, and every day St. Nicholas bring them a little something. Most of the times it's biscuits, like cookies or speculoos. I'm going to show you that. Speculoos are delicious. And yeah, that's a huge way for the parents to make the children behave and not misbehave. But have a look here. Sitting room, which is a mess as usual, and it's really dark. And look! He came tonight. Gosh, there's so many things. So, St. Nicholas came here too. So that's the gift the students are getting from St. Nicholas. So, I think that is juice, lemon, and a pen.
Alors on baisse le ton et on va écouter.
Pour préparer la Saint-Nicolas 2017. Et donc du coup alors, on va créer. Donc, première école, lycée premier degré. On va aller chercher. J'ai ma petite idée ici. Pas moyen de vous laisser tranquille 2 minutes. Mais trop tard.
Lots of pictures today, lots of snippets here and there from the St. Nicholas at school. I wanted to explain a few things for you. So as you could see, there was first a video that some teachers made, and there were some Père Fouettard and St. Nicholas with his donkey, because St. Nicholas, I have something on my nose, St. Nicholas traveled with the donkey from house to house. And yeah, so some teachers recorded that, they showed it to the students. Most of the students liked it, I think. Well, not all of them. And the theme to this year was dancing with Fouettard, so the black person. I think Père Fouettard, you know, perhaps you know it in English. I don't know how to translate it, but it's not the boogeyman, but it's sort of this. That's the man who punished the bad children, the one who misbehaved. And so the theme of the St. Nicholas this year at school was this dancing with Fouettard, like Dancing with the Stars, of course. That's why there were so many dances and why they were dressed like that. And of course, St. Nicholas being old, he had some difficulties to follow them, and that's why he was a little late. But yeah, actually the story was pretty good. I think the acting was also good. The video also, I don't know who edited it, and film recorded, but it was really good quality. And yeah, afterwards the Père Fouettard and St. Nicholas came inside the gym hall, and they gave some chocolate to the students who helped every day. So for example, some students helped with the sandwiches at the school cafeteria. Some students also helped with the activities during lunch. So we have volleyball matches for girls and football matches, soccer matches for boys. And we need students to, how do you say arbitre in English? I don't know, I'm not really into sports, so I don't know this vocabulary. And so, because they help every day, they got some chocolate. The point of this activity at school is to to reward the good students. And there were 2 students who stayed during all the time in the front, but because they misbehaved. So one was on his knees and one was holding St. Nicholas cross, so you know, his stick. And that's it. And so afterwards we got some sweets, some candies. It was also the occasion to thank the students who got elected. In each classes we have how do you call that, the delegate. So they represent students. We have kind of like a parliament. That's why there was some music, the national anthem at that moment. They also give some prizes, yeah, some awards, I would say, to students who have were always smiling, always being polite and stuff like that, always helpful. So it was a nice moment, I think, for the students. They really enjoyed it. And afterwards they left because school was finished. And for me, this afternoon, as you could see, I went to my parents and we baked some cookies with my mom. We wanted to bake some Christmas cookies, or try to. They actually turned out delicious, so that's good. And now I am back home, so I think I'm going to vlog a few more times, not so much. Because guess what I'm doing now that I am home? Yeah, you guessed right. I'm going to correct. I gave a writing exercise in every classes I have this week before the exam. I wanted them to be ready. I wanted them to try a similar question for the exam. So I have to correct that.
Fortunately for me, the first year students written exercise are less what? I can't talk anymore, I'm tired. Are less bigger. Shit! I have a blank. My mind is totally blank. I can't find... What is the adjective? Big? Biggest? Less? Less big? No, you can't say that. Anyway, I can't speak English anymore, as you can see. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to go correct, and perhaps I will do a few more things at home.
This is what correcting look like. Yeah, my kitchen table is a mess. What I am correcting, I thought I will give you a few explanations how I usually correct a written exercise. So basically, wait, I take the text, of course. Here is it. Here it is in a postcard. This is by dyslexic students, so I use the computer in the classroom. So I'm going to read this, of course. I'm going to use a code for the mistakes he made or she made. Basically, I put a cross when there's a word missing. I circle a word when it isn't in the right place. I underline when there is a spelling mistake. And I do a wavy, underline something when the word is correct, but it isn't used in this context. So for example, here, dinner, I can put a cross. Sorry if I am shaking. Here and here. Something like that. And afterwards, when I have corrected everything, when I have read everything, I have noted the text, I use this grid to give the points. So the result will be out of 20, and I have 4 indicators. 1 for the respect of the instructions, everything is there in the text. The text is correctly presented, it is a letter or postcard, for example. Then there is an aspect of using connectors and making alineas. And then vocabulary regarding spelling mistake, but also the complexity, I will say. Not really the complexity, but lots of different words or something like that. And then the grammar. And here I wanted them to use present simple and present continuous, so I'm going to be particularly attentive. I'm going to pay attention to that. And of course I will correct other the grammar points and keep that in mind. And so then I just have to choose if they have 5 points out of 5 or 4 points out of 5, 3, which is the basic they have to go. That's the standard. 2, 1, or 0. 0 is when they didn't write anything. And so, yeah, I just cycle here in the grid and say, okay, that's 4 here, 3, 3. So, and I put a total out of 20. That's it. That's for the writing exercises, of course.